The following is a special presentation of Henrico County Public Schools. Live game coverage of the Varina Blue Devils as they take on the Highland Springs Springers.
Sold out Glen Ruda-style Court, home of the 19-1 and defending state champion Varina Blue Devils, as they host their arch rivals, the 12-5 Highland Springs Springers. I'm Will Catterley from HCPS TV, and joining me are three talented students from Varina's Center for Communications and Media Relations. We have Abigail Fisher, Dr. James Love Jr., and Malachi Frederick. Guys, let's get right to it. Two teams that don't get along. One team defending state champ, only one loss. Abigail, Varina's winning streak goes so far. It goes into last season too, right?
Right. They came back into the season with a 38-0 record, and the last time these two teams faced off, it was a very close game until the third quarter with a 69-49 win for the Blue Devils.
And when you look at it, depth and balance, inside and out. You try to play zone, they'll say, what, we got the three, you're going to give me that? I'll take it. A lot of scores that can make this team work, from Tyrese Jenkins to Jason Nelson, and I say inside and out. You saw the three ball, they also can finish at the rim. Check that out. So Varina looking very strong. Now on the other side, let's talk Highland Springs. James, Malachi, they played Varina very tough. What do they have to do to have a chance tonight?
Well, the Springers have to rebound the ball. Varina's a very good rebounding team. They crash the board at will, and they'll crash the offensive glass. The Springers had to control the defensive glass to win the game.
I feel like Highland Springs, they need to work on their defense and actually try to keep up with Varina from last time. Slow them down a little bit.
And obviously if Jordan Crum and Damon Works can get it going, they're the top two leading scorers for Highland Springs. That would work wonders. Well, we have someone courtside with us as well. Let's go down to our reporter who met with both head coaches pregame. Let's go down to Kenny Lawson. He's got more. Kenny. We'll get to Kenny later on in the program, but let's talk more about this upcoming matchup as we get to 7 minutes before tip-off. You play girls hoops, so what do you feel like? What do you do to get ready in these last few minutes as you're dribbling around and getting loose, especially when it's your arch rival?
I lock out the whole world. Everything around me is not there. I just focus on the game and focus on how I'm going to play. Think about what I know about the other team and what I know about the last time we played them and go from there. There's nothing really you can do besides focus on your game and block out everything else that's around you.
An interesting game in this one, guys, is the fact that they have a chance to win their final game as seniors at home. They've already held their senior night, so no pressure there. But these two teams, when they meet, it's like we're watching a football game, right? It gets physical.
Yes, it does. Varina's physicality when it comes to the Springers is higher than any other team, even Henrico. So this game is going to be very physical, a lot of fouls. So you have to stay out of foul trouble to win this game as well.
It's not just the physical mindset, it's a mindset that they have. They want to win. They want to keep that title, and they want to keep pushing to, maintain that reputation of the best team in Varina County.
A lot of people forget that these two teams met last year, not once, not twice, not three times, not four, but five, count them 5 times. Varina won all 5, but they were all closely contested, and even in the ones that got away, they were awfully close, including the 69-61 finish in the state semifinals. Highland Springs made it as the 8th and last seed to get into the playoffs, made it all the way to the state semifinals where they would eventually lose to now defending state champ Varina. So we are just moments away, a few minutes from the national anthem and a few minutes away from tip-off. We talked about scoring, we talked about Tyrese Jenkins, we talked about the numbers and the depth that Varina has from guards to forwards to centers. Highland Springs is more Damon Wirtz and Jordan Crum oriented. Who else needs to get involved? I think Zaever Wingfield needs to be a factor.
Zaire definitely needs to be a factor. He's going to be a great factor on defense, but he needs to step up his offensive production to win this game.
Well, guys, I think we've got stuff figured out down courtside. Is Kenny Lawson with us? He talked to both coaches beforehand, so let's hear what he got from.
Thanks, guys. Both coaches are very confident in their team's outcome tonight. Varina's tactic is to gain momentum early. Play a consistent 32 minutes. That's a full game. Play tough, play consistent, and also they want to make effort plays. No lacking offense, no lacking defense. Make good shots. They want to make sure they also stay very, very competitive against Highland Springs. Highland Springs' tactic is just as much as like as Varina's. They want to show up and play hard as well. They cover all aspects of the game, on and off the ball. They want to minimize their mistakes. No turnovers, no fouls. Last time they had a player fall out at the end of the game. They want to make sure they play for a whole game as well. Last time they stopped playing about 3.5 quarters, as their coach, Mr. Tennisman, says. So hopefully we're looking for a good game between the both of the teams. Now back to you, Will.
Appreciate that, Kenny. And he brings up a good point, guys, in that the last matchup, you look at the stats, you look at the final score, it says 69-49. That's a 20-point win. That's a blowout, right? Wrong. Fourth quarter entered as a 2-point game. It was anybody's game. It was a one-possession contest. Varina goes on an 18-0 run. End of story. But when you're a team like the Blue Devils and you've won a state championship, you kind of know how to finish, don't you?
Yes, you do. You definitely know how to finish. You definitely know how to close out games. You get hot from the perimeter, you keep taking them. As the defense is giving you the inside, you go inside.
They can't get too cocky though. They still have to work. You know, Highland Springs, they're not a bad team. They just slow down a little bit. Varina has to keep up with that.
Abigail, we've talked about the physicality of these two teams. Both teams can score the rock at a high level. Varina's got 4 players that average double figures of points. Highland Springs has a dynamic duo in both Wirtz and Jordan Crump. The question is, can they get any help from, say, maybe a Tremaine Talbert, Zaire Wingfield? Wingfield was at his best in the first matchup Highland Springs had with Henrico, and I think they're going to need the young guard's help to really be successful tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the entire game just needs to be focused. Everybody's got to go together. They can't just stay on the two like stars. They have to go around. Everybody's got to do their job because you can't just put everything on 2 people's shoulders and win basketball games. It's a whole team effort. That's why it's a team sport and not a 2-person sport or a 1-person sport.
Defensively, I think the matchup's going to be very interesting. I think Highland Springs is going to want to muddy this game up a little bit, muck it up a little bit, make it more physical, because teams that have tried to play zone, as we saw earlier, the tape doesn't lie and the ball doesn't lie. As we saw earlier, you play zone, Varina shoots over you. You get up in their grill and they drive right by you to the bucket and they get an easy jam. So how important is it going to be for the Springers to mix it up defensively?
Very important, because if you show one thing, like you said, they'll just do the other. So they just have to mix it up defensively. Don't be simple with it. You know, try to confuse the offense.
It's like, I feel like Highland Springs, they can't, come with the same plan every time, and vice versa. Varina, they have to, switch it up. If they keep making threes, tighten up on the defense on the 3-point line. If they keep making it in the paint, close up on them.
And once again, if you're just joining us, this game coverage is brought to you by the crew at the Center for Communications and Media Relations here at Varina, as both teams are pretty rowdy and ready to go. And when I say they're brought to you by students from the Center for Communications and Media Relations, what I mean is they are part of that center, and they're not just here as talent up here like Abigail and Malachi and James, but also Kenny down there courtside as a reporter. Later we're going to get to Davis Daly. He played in the JV game. And our camera crew, our replay, statisticians, everything. Besides me and a little bit of help from HCPS TV in setting this thing up, this is a student-run thing. You guys excited or pumped for this or what?
Very excited. Can't wait to just talk about this game and watch these 2 teams compete. It's going to be a great game.
So we are ready to get things underway as Varina once again at 19-1 takes on Highland Springs at 12-5. Both these teams playoff bound, and they're introducing the visiting Springers. We talked about Zaever Winfield looking to be a factor. He gets the start tonight, as does Christian Wilson, Damon Wirtz, Jordan Crump, and number 25, Malik Tull. Malik Tull is a load inside. He's very big, rebounding the basketball as well, even though Highland Springs is going to be a little bit undersized against this Blue Devil team. And now here's the lineup for your starting Varina Blue Devils and defending champs.
Coach Brown's third period advanced PE class. Wearing number 1,
Kennard Richardson.
5'10" sophomore point guard from Coach Catalano's 7th period chemistry class. Wearing number 4, Jason Nelson.
And Nelson as well.
A 6'6" senior power forward, formerly from Miss Johnson's AP psychology class. Wearing number 5, Tyrese Jenkins.
And all three of them are captains, as Jenkins is announced.
7-inch senior center from Miss KM's 6th period Bio 2 class. Wearing number 10, Jordan Hernandez.
Jordan Hernandez, I actually nicknamed him Donkey Hernandez early last year for very obvious reasons.
Boss's 4th period English 10 class. Wearing number 12, A.J. Williams.
And the dangerous Anthony Williams, otherwise known as A.J. Williams, to fill out the starting 5. A.J. Williams dangerous because he can shoot the 3-ball like nobody's business from the corner, so watch out for that. Highland Springs is going to be forced tonight to defend the entire court. And guys, they're also going to have to take something away and I guess kind of pick their poison defensively. It'd be good if they got off to a good start for Highland Springs' sake. So we're about to tip it away. Again, Varina coming in at 19-1. Would be the number 1 seed going into regionals. Highland Springs at 12-5 overall. And Jordan Hernandez will line it up with Zaever Wingfield for the tip. And the Blue Devils have it, and they'll go into offense right away. Jenkins to the corner. They spread it around so well, don't they? Nelson splashes it down, and Varina's on the board with a 3.
Starting the game off well.
Jason Nelson can orchestrate as a guard. Varina can shoot inside and out. Here comes Highland Springs. The block down low, and then they call a loose ball foul, and it's going to go the other way as Varina will take over and get possession.
Varina's very long. No easy layups tonight.
Tyrese Jenkins will control in the corner and then inside and up and under, scoop and score. Jordan Donkey Hernandez for 2. And Varina's off to the start they won with a quick 5-zip tally. Highland Springs not one to slow down. Varina is one to trap though. And the Springers are on the move again. Pass back out in the corner to Jordan Crump, too far. And the pressure for Varina early is winning out.
So we're looking bad for Highland Springs.
And already Highland Springs and Coach Tennyson to say is we're going to talk things over. Guys, early going, just a 30-second timeout here, but your impression of Varina's start and I guess Highland Springs not so hot start.
Perfect. I think it's perfect. You know,
Perfect for Varina.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 points in a row. Right.
This game often changes and goes on runs. We mentioned Abigail, the ending of their first matchup when Varina went and closed on an 18-0 run. So we're probably going to see some seesaw movement in this one.
Yeah, a lot of movement. You're going to see a lot of shots taken from a lot of different players, especially AJ. He's very good from that back corner, like you said earlier. And you're just going to see a lot of movement and a lot of trapping because that's just what Varina does. But Highland Springs always finds a way to make it through and make this game very interesting. Both teams do.
And they make it interesting there as they get their first 2 points of the game. Inside, it was Christian Wilson. Foul called, no, they'll say traveling. So Jason Nelson commits a turnover, and A.J. Williams did connect on that 3 to put himself in the scorebook. Varina already 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. That's worth watching. Springers come back down. Varina playing a zone, looks like. 2-3. Forcing Highland Springs to shoot it, and shoot they will. Nothing but nylon. Jordan Crump, who we talked about in the open, he needs to step up and have a big game. That's not a bad start, is it?
Can't let him score. Gotta be somebody else.
So Varina comes right back. Dipsy Doo, how are you? Fine, thank you. Kennard Richardson. Springer's bringing it back up. The trap is going to work, though, and uh-oh, they got numbers! Oh, the pass was just too far, but they call a foul, and that'll be the first on Jordan Crump. And guys, last thing Highland Springs needs is for Crump to get into foul trouble.
He definitely can't get into foul trouble.
Yeah, being one of their star players, there's no way that they can keep up how they play. And just like their last game, he was very key to their game the entire time, and losing him would not do well for them.
He definitely was key to their success as Tyrese Jenkins missed the front end of 2 shots. Jenkins already with 2 of the 10 Blue Devil points. Misses both.
Gotta make her free throws.
Highland Springs dodges a bit of a bullet, and they're gonna try to work the ball around with a little bit more pace. Stolen by Varina, though. Now we're heading the other way. Quick pass, and Varina gets it back. These 2 teams love to play quick. Expect to see it all night long. Highland Springs will settle it down. This inside and over the jumping Hernandez, it appears. Wilson connects, and he's got 4 of Highland Springs points. Right back. The long J, no. Rebound Highland Springs, and then he is fouled as Iever Wingfield gets a rebound and a quick fall on Varina. So Crump will bring it up for the Springers, down 10-7 early on first quarter, 5 minutes to go. Back to more of a man-to-man defense. So you said it earlier, Malachi, about switching up defense. Varina does it there. 3 balls off the mark. Blue Devils back in transition, and this is where they're good. Nelson to the corner. Williams got it.
Dangerous, man.
He is deadly from the corner. Williams 2 for 2 from 3. Springers down 6 as we close under 4.5 to go here in the first.
Blue Devils are keeping their defense pretty tight.
Crump looking, finding, down low, that's blocked. Jenkins got his big old paw on it, now they're loose. Up and in for 2. Kennard Richardson connects. Varina up 8.
Ooh, he went for the steal right there.
That ball is off the mark. Here come the Blue Devils again. The extra pass, and into the land of the trees. Highland Springs is going to get the turnover. Kind of loose on the handle, guys, early. Varina comes back up, and then we're going the other way now. Jason Nelson, blocked! Damon works, and that works. Highland Springs has it now. It's like a ping pong match.
Back and forth.
For 3, got it! Christian Wilson. And he has an early 7 points. Guys, Christian Wilson's been a factor for Highland Springs on offense.
Definitely has. Leading scorer up to this point.
He's very good at pressuring the ball in defense, too. He just comes up to the ball, doesn't even think about it. Gets in that distance so that he makes the refs have to count, and he doesn't back off until he makes the other team make a move.
seems like both teams are pretty happy with this tempo, getting up and down and not letting the other opposing team set up their defense. There's 2 more scored by Varina. 17-10. That's going to be an offensive foul. They're saying that Jordan Hernandez was there first, and Varina gets Highland Springs to turn it over once again, up 7. 2:39 to go in the opening quarter. Varina up 7. 19-1, looking for a 20-win regular season. Cheerleaders have had plenty to dance about this season and last, as a return to the Siegel Center would be just what Coach Lacey would love to see. Blue Devils poke and prod, get it into Jenkins. Gets out of the double team, and that ball is blocked. Varina gets it back, though, and no, off the iron. And now the Springers head the other way, and they turn it back over. Dunkaroo Howard! Tyrese Jenkins!
Getting it back over and over again. That looks so good.
It's just going to be a back and forth game just like that the entire time. There's nothing that you're not going to see in this game. Just constant back and forth, a lot of aggressiveness, a lot of contact. It's going to be a good one.
One thing to keep in mind, there's a decent amount of players from this Highland Springs team that are from their football team. We know how good Highland Springs football's been over the last 4 years, so if you're seeing a lot of players on the floor, as you see Tyrese Jenkins throw it down, that was a soft dunk, wasn't it? It was like he was being nice to the rim. I bet you he's more authoritative later on, and he's going to have more opportunities, isn't he, at the rim?
That was a warm-up jam.
Back inside, fade away. High off the glass. No, there's Jenkins. Got it.
Gotta keep locked offensive glass.
Tyrese definitely heating up, Mr. Love. 21-10, it's a football score. As we wind down with 1:25 to go in the first, Springers need a good possession right here. That almost worked, but the defense says no. It's another block, and Varina again heading the other way. The step-up J is no good. Highland Springs, they got to keep their handle on the rock right now.
I had a lot of turnovers in this fourth quarter.
Open three, he's got to hit it. I was going to say Varina needs it. Highland Springs needs it. Varina, man, are they quick. Can't finish the bunny. Now the Springers going for the easy 2. Jordan Crump does not finish. Look at this. Where's the D? Yeah, we're trying to have a dunk contest. You got to throw it down. You got to finish. They're going to call a late whistle and a foul. I don't know. I don't think the officials even know what to do at this point. 35 seconds ago, 21-12. Blue Devils had an amazing opportunity for an NBA Jam type of play, and he just missed the dunk. Ball stays with Highland Springs. 32 seconds to go as Crump will work it. Crump, double. Extra pass, well done.
Seemed like Highland Springs were prepared for that one.
And the size of Varina's giving him trouble too. Not just the double teams, but you saw right there Tyrese Jenkins with the block. He's got several inches over the driving guard there for Highland Springs. Great entry pass though. They find Crump, and he finds the scorer's table again. Now they're going to let A.J. Williams take it off for the final shot. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. He's got to get it off. 2. Got it! At the buzzer!
A.J. Williams.
I'll tell you what, guys. He started fast, Varina started fast, and they closed the same way they got this quarter going. 24-14, Blue Devils with a 10-point lead after the first quarter. Abigail playing in a game that is this crazy, topsy-turvy, back and forth. If you're Highland Springs, what do you do to combat the trap and the difference in size? Because Varina's got an advantage here.
Well, to get through the difference of size, you just have to think about it a little more. You have to look at your men. You have to pump fake if you have to, drive to the basket. You can't just do everything obvious. You have to be discreet. You have to try to hide what you're doing, because if you don't, you can't do anything. You're stuck. And that's something that Highland Springs seems to be struggling with at the moment.
Patience is a virtue, and James, Coach Lacey right now, what do you think he's saying to his troops in his 6th year as head coach?
To keep up the tempo, use their size, their advantage, and keep on doing what they're doing. They played very well first quarter.
Coach Tennyson gets a lot out of his Highland Springs Springers. Last year, that team at Highland Springs weren't even over 500. Somehow got in as that 8 seed, made it all the way to the state semifinals. Can't say enough about what he did with this group last season, and a lot of players returned from that talented team. So the Springers are start off with the ball here in the 2nd down 9, driving to the hoop, up and no! Blocked again, and I believe that's the 4th block for the team for Varina, as Jordan Hernandez got his hand up. And
starting to look like a volleyball game out here.
Back and forth constantly. That's volleyball for you.
Feels that way, especially with the blocks, right?
Right.
So here's Jason Nelson as he quickly gets rid of it. We go high, low, no, but a foul. Nice looking drawn up play. Abigail, that looks like a play that's drawn up by the coach during the timeout, because the passing was very determined on that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that you'll see Varina do. They'll go to the bench, and Lacey will go, and he'll put a new play in, and all of a sudden you'll see something that you've never seen before, and they just pass the ball and get it around very well, and everything that he tells them to do, they go through with it.
About the only thing not going Varina's way right now as Hernandez misses is at the free throw line. They haven't connected on their free throws yet so far this evening. Hernandez will have another. That is no good, and Highland Springs in desperate need of a bucket. That is a foul, and no, that block does not count, but it looked cool. It'll be on the floor, and it'll be Varina's 3rd team foul. Highland Springs right now has 5.
That's something I feel like we're going to see a lot, is a lot of fouls through this game. Like, there's no way that these two teams, being who they are going to not foul a lot, and that's just something you're going to see and something you're going to get used to, is a physical game with a lot of fouls being called, because it's just how these two teams play, and it always makes the game really good.
Highland Springs, again, struggling with that zone and that length, looking for something of an opening. Driving to the lane, ingenuity, well done as Tremaine Talbert connects for 2. One of the football stars I mentioned earlier. Ball's all over the court again. Step back 3, no, but the offensive rebound, and he misses the easy layup. Damon Wirtz was there, but couldn't convert. So Varina with a chance to make it 9 or 10. Springers get it back. 3-on-2. All the way to the rack, and he is fouled. So Highland Springs' answer is to get the turnover themselves. Don't let Varina even set up defensively. And Damon Wirtz is going to go to the free throw line. 4th team foul on Varina.
Highland Springs just seems to be going for a lot of fast breaks, because that's what's going to break this Varina defense. Is you come through, you run, you get down the court as fast as you can, and that's the only way to break through. And once Varina gets on top of that, they're going to have to find something else. But right now, that's what's working, and that's what's getting them fouls and getting them on the free throw line. And that's something they seem to have done well with right now.
Charles Tart checks out. Anthony Williams back in. Here's a look back at that foul and kind of a cool angle at the block that didn't really count. 5-point lead for Varina. And the double team, they're going to call a jump ball. Guys, where's the possession arrow pointing?
They didn't let him get in the rhythm.
It's a lot of contact on one person, a little switch up on the defense.
The ref called a jump ball, and you saw Tyrese looking for a foul or some kind of holding or something, because that's what it looked like from here, but the ref called a jump ball, and the players didn't seem very happy about it.
They got a good high-low going on, and he is just grabbed. And oh my! I don't know. I'm going to want to see this again, guys, because it really looked like there was a foul. It looked like he was grabbing his back. Instead, they called a jump ball. You can tell the crowd didn't like it. Highland Springs gets the ball back just down by 5. Springer's having trouble getting out of the front court. They finally do. And driving, slicing, dicing. That's a little hard off the glass. Look how quick.
Uh-oh.
Kennard Richardson flexes and says he's been eating his Wheaties as he puts that one in, and he can convert the old-fashioned three-point play.
Not gonna lie, I was hoping for a dunk there.
I thought we were going to get some showtime. James Love, the doctor, you would have thrown that down. So James, tell me, is this true? Your middle name is Truth.
Yes, True Love.
You are James Truth Love.
True Love.
Oh, True Love.
Yeah.
Well, that was a truly sensational block
Yes, it was.
by Donkey Hernandez, and then a foul on the other side, and they hug and make up. But wow, what a block!
You could tell the crowd was looking for a foul in that block. Everybody jumped up and was screaming that was a foul over there, and they didn't get it, but it worked out in Varina's favor in the end because they're on the free throw line again.
Well, the Blue Devils are jumping out of the building right now. That's 5-6 blocks, and we're just in the second quarter. First free throw is up and good.
And it's getting a lot more aggressive than I anticipated.
The reason why Varina's at the free throw line is because that's the 7th team foul for Highland Springs. Kennard Richardson hit the front end of the 1-and-1. Here's a second. Got it to go. Highland Springs down 9. All the way to the rim, and you could argue there was contact there. No call. Varina gets it back, and they're not stopping. Inside. There's another foul. And let's take a look at that block one more time, guys. Here comes Highland Springs. First of all, look, they've got the advantage. 3-on-2 right up, going up. Get out of my house. Jordan Hernandez goes back to the line after that amazing block. And a great job there in replay from the Center for Communications and Media Relations here at Varina. Again, the game's being brought to you by the Varina Center for Communications and Media Relations. We've got all those cool replays you're seeing, that is from a Varina High School student. No joke. And all the talent up here with me, that makes me look bad, they're also Varina students. So Highland Springs down 10, guys. Not out of the woods yet, though, is Varina. The Springers try to get back into it here. And it looks like Varina's going back to that 2-3 zone that's worked so well. For 3, Crump. No, too hard. Rebound, and I think they're going to call over the back. They do. That's a foul on Damon Wirtz.
Back to the line they go.
Absolutely. Varina will get the 1-and-1.
Foul on Highland Springs, number 4, Wirtz. That's his second team's night.
That's 9 team fouls now on Highland Springs. One more and they're in the double bonus, which means they'll get 2 free throws the rest of the way with just under 5 minutes to go here in the opening half. Knocks the first one down. Tell you what, these are 2 proud high schools, Varina and Highland Springs. They pack the house for football, and they do the same in basketball. This is a big-time crowd. This is a sold-out arena tonight at Glenn Rudisaw Court as he makes a pair. And it's 30-18, Varina. Timeout on the court. So, James Love, we've seen a little bit of everything. We've seen some threes. We've seen some blocks. We've seen some dunks. At the end of the day, so far, we've seen Varina versus Highland Springs.
Yes, sir.
know, one of the things about Varina versus Highland Springs is it's not just a battle between the basketball teams. These cheerleaders bring it on as well. I'm serious. Look, I mean, they will battle against each other during every break and every timeout. And at some point, you'll have one or two that flip at least halfway down the court. Definitely brings some energy, though, right?
Yes, they do. It's a lot of animosity between the cheerleaders and the players.
It's like a non-verbal form of communication, like we're better than you, going back and forth throughout the entire night.
A lot of pride.
For three, Crump corner, no. And look who it is, Tyrese Jenkins with the rebound. He quickly finds Nelson, back top of the key. AJ's got it, no. Too hard, but the offensive rebound is there.
Varina's been killing Highland Springs in the glass.
Jordan Hernandez has done it on both sides of the court, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
32-18, Blue Devils. Highland Springs with 4:06 to go tries another triple, and if they're going to come back and win, they're going to need to hit some threes. Varina's last loss was Elsie Bird. Elsie Bird hit 12 threes in the first half. Highland Springs gone a little bit cold, and Varina is getting to the free throw line when it matters.
AJ Williams to the line, shoot three.
I mean, that is blistering hot. I've been watching Varina play all year. Here's that rebound again. We were talking about offensive glass, right? And when you get a second chance, you give a defending state champion a second chance on that rebound we just saw, put back, and easy two. That's demoralizing, too.
Yes, you're going to have to pay for allowing somebody to get the offensive glass, especially defending state champions, like you said.
I said that when I was talking to my television, watching my alma mater Oklahoma Sooners play and give up rebound after rebound late in the second half against Iowa State the other night. But I digress. Another free throw upcoming. AJ Williams, good on that one. So Abigail, being a player yourself, you've been on both sides of the equation. You've been a team up 33-18. You've also been the team down 33-18. What do you do if you're the team that is down? Obviously, you want something positive to happen before the end of this half.
You pressure the ball. All you can do is get on the ball, try not to foul, do your best. You can't throw up shots that you know aren't going to work. If you throw up random threes and you just wing it, you're not going to make anything. You have to think everything through. You have to pressure the ball, get on top of it. Don't let them make it down the court. Make them make the turnovers. You don't make the turnovers.
There you go. And right now, it has been Highland Springs making the turnovers, and it's been a big difference in the game so far. Is A.J. Williams going to split the defense? Extra pass. How about one more? Jenkins thought about it. Now that's ball movement.
That is ball movement right there. Great finish.
Guess who? Hernandez.
Hernandez is killing it on the glass tonight. Like he just can't be stopped. He gets in there and he's going to make it. I think he's missed, what, one shot?
That was almost really unbelievable work by Charles Tart, but he got a little bit too tricky with the handles on that one.
A little bit too saucy.
A little bit too much sauce on that. The three, no. Highland Springs cold from beyond the arc, and Varina is taking advantage to the rack. No, which way are they going to go? I think they call an offensive foul. Highland Springs defense was there, and the Springers will take over. With 2:50 to go. Here it is, the ball movement. We talk about it, and then just going to the lane and knowing that you have the speed to get past that extra defender. Well done.
Yeah, their height is doing them wonders tonight. All the difference in the height between Highland Springs and Varina, it's just a big thing, and the height just is killing the Springs with how short they are compared to Varina, and they're not even small guys. They're big guys, and they just can't make it through how big Varina gets.
Well, somebody's got to get hot shooting, but I think your earlier point was a good one, which is if your offense is having trouble, you got to get it going with your defense, and that'll start things. Also, great inbounds play there. Springers connect for two down low. That helps. So Jason Nelson brings it up 15. 2:20 to go and counting. Nelson. Top of the key, Jenkins. Williams gonna fire it up. No. Big rebound, Highland Springs. Let's see if they can beat the defense here. They do, but they lost something. And a jump ball.
Things get a little clustered when Highland Springs hit that ball.
It's almost like they went too fast.
Yes, they did.
You can't outrun the ball. If you outrun the ball, you're gonna mess yourself up every time. Even if you're ahead, the worst thing you can do is try to run faster than the ball is going.
You gotta run the ball, might as well get out of the way.
Highland Springs with the turnover. Almost turned it right back. Ooh, nice footwork to keep it from being it over and back. And inside they find Mr. Crump. And Jordan Crump is keeping Highland Springs at least somewhat in this, down 13. Nelson, nice dish, looking for the dime. He's got it.
Dimer. That was a great find into the corner.
The senior Charles Tart gets into the books with a 3. Nelson does so much as a point guard. He can shoot, he can distribute, as we saw right there, and he's not afraid to take a foul either. He can give up and sacrifice the body and get that offensive foul as well. Sees the court so well. Look at that, wide open Jenkins.
Only a sophomore too.
That's right, he was a freshman last year. Offensive rebounds again, and it's Jordan Hernandez again. Hernandez in double figures here in the first. Stolen by Jenkins. Here comes Varina. Ooh. We're going to see
possession.
Who's that out on?
That's a good question. I think the refs are going to get together. Let's take a look at this 3 from earlier. We're talking about Nelson and his handles. Look, it's almost a no-look pass, but it's definitely a dart. And right into the shooter's motion. Can't do it any better than splish splash.
AJ loves making those shots.
Sure does, and it's easier for a shooter when you get it right in stride, like that. Except that's got nothing but air behind it, and here comes AJ. Varina doubling up, Highland Springs 42-22. And they're gonna go to the line. Last year, Coach Lacey said after they won the state championship, which is the first one in Varina Blue Devil history, he said, I thought we were a year away because he had so many players that weren't seniors. That's only good news for Varina in 2019 because they all come back and they get a year older.
That experience helps them this year too. They'll have championship experience. Be better than some of these other teams in the playoffs.
AJ will line up for his second and knock it down. So 44-22, 18.2 to go, and this might be the last possession of the first half. Crump looking. Got to get something inside, but they're going to have to settle for a long jump shot here in a second. Here's a pass to the corner, and they're not even going to get a shot off. Wow. Varina's defense confusing Highland Springs, and they are defending state champs, and they are playing like a state champion. We have Davis Daly with us down courtside with Coach Andrew Lacey. Davis, what's going on with Varina and the success they had so far in the first half against their arch rival? As me, Malachi, James, and Abigail wait, coach is getting settled down. And we've got Davis Daly in just a few minutes, guys. So just before we toss down to him, what a half for Varina.
Amazing half. They finished the game, finished the half with a 22-point lead. Playing great defense, great execution on offense.
And you talked about the defense you can't talk about the defense without talking about Jordan Hernandez and what he's done with the dunking. We'll go down to Davis now, who's got head coach Lacey. Andrew Lacey, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, with a 22-point lead going into the half, what is your game plan like moving forward in this game?
We're going to come back out and we're going to make sure that we look at the game like it's 0-0, and we want to stay disciplined. We really want to play really, really good defense, take care of the basketball, and then try to get some guys healthy going into next week.
Good luck, Coach.
Tell you what, we'll be back for the third quarter in just a few minutes here at Varina.
The following is a special presentation of Henrico County Public Schools. Live game coverage of the Varina Blue Devils and the Highland Springs Springers.
Coach Andrew Lacey and the Varina Blue Devils looking like defending champs tonight on their final home game of the regular season. As guys, they lead Highland Springs 44-22. Malachi, James, Abigail. Guys, you look at what happened in that first half. We talked about Jordan Hernandez. He has 10 points. You look at Kennard Robertson. He's got 24. He had 20 in the second quarter alone. And for Highland Springs, the only guy that they've been able to get going so far is Jordan Crump with 9. So what is it that Varina has done that has limited Highland Springs? Because 22 points is not what they're used to scoring in a first half of play.
It's been a block party. Jordan Hernandez is blocking every shot that comes his way. They just got to get around the lane, work through the chest of him, and they might have a chance. Just have to be efficient.
Besides the blocks, it's a lot of Varina crashing the boards and a lot of Varina doing really good with just getting the ball around, a lot of ball movement. They're not just going to one person the entire time. Everybody's getting their hand on the ball. They're all crashing the board. They're getting fouled. They're forcing fouls to be made, and then they're starting to get back on they're getting back on their game, and they're making their free throws now. And that's just something you can't let Varina do, is get into the boards and make their free throws.
I see a lot of communication going on the court. There's a lot of hand movement, a lot of directing from the captains, Tyrese Jenkins, Jay Nelson. He's really communicating with this team, and that might be the best thing that they can do for themselves.
And when they're moving the ball, Varina offensively the way they are through Nelson, they're very hard to beat. I mean, you saw the spacing that Varina was able to create in the first half. For Highland Springs, I feel like in the second half, it would behoove them to try to get to the free throw line. To Varina's credit, they've defended really well without fouling. So, what Highland Springs has to do is get it inside and hope they can draw some contact, at least to get stops on the clock, which is their best friend if they can come back. Yeah. Right now, it's their enemy.
Well, it is getting really physical.
It has been physical. It will stay physical. These two teams always go after each other. And even though it's a 22-point game at the half, we've seen runs before. So we're only about a minute and change away from the start here of the third quarter at 44-22. Varina with the lead, and they really have done it all. I said Kennard Robinson with 24 points, and with Jordan Hernandez with 10, and Nelson almost has double-digit assists. They've shot the ball very well, while Highland Springs beyond the arc has been pretty cool. Let's see what changes, if any, the Springers make to their lineup. Again, Jordan Crump leads all scores for Highland Springs with 9. Christian Wilson's been a nice surprise for them. He has 7. Other than that, it's been Jackson with 2. Tremaine Talbert has 4. And it's been all about Hernandez and Richardson.
Springers need to get some ball movement, get everybody involved, get into the paint, work the corners. Need to start off the second half with a run.
The biggest thing Highland Springs can do this half is pass the ball and get into the paint, not back out and stand out there in the three-point line, because obviously it hasn't been connecting very well for them. And the smartest thing for them to do is just good passes, smart shots, not just throw anything up.
Well, we'll see how that transpires. Well, they threw that up, and it didn't work. Much to what you just said, Abigail, and now Varina takes advantage.
Nice shot.
Surrounding Jason Nelson, number 4.
Yeah, that was a nice little wrinkle, wasn't it? I mean, if you got a chance to get a turnover and you can trap somebody, do it. It's live by the sword, die by the sword. Varina traps themselves. They're very good at getting out of them. They practice against it so much, but you don't have much of a say when you're down 22. You want to change the momentum.
Yeah, but they're picking on the smaller guy on the court.
Now Nelson will bring it back up. Highland Springs playing tight man-to-man here to start the third.
Yeah, the zone wasn't really working in the first half, so they're trying to switch things up. Like I said, do work man-to-man. Caused the turnover right there.
We've seen that high-low kind of pick or screen play a couple of times. The pass is just a little bit off. So Varina has a turnover, and Highland Springs trying to get hot. That's the guy to do it is Crump, but he went too far on the 3, and they're going to call it Varina basketball.
No ball movement on that possession. Just got the shot it. Wasn't very efficient.
So Nelson will take his time, and he can afford to do it.
They got all the time in the world.
The best thing they can do is run the clock out. They can't spend time doing crazy things. They have to play smart basketball.
Tyrese Jenkins scores 2. You know, it's really dangerous when you're courtside because this can happen. Look out! Right in your living room. And oh, did you see the look on that girl's face?
Yeah.
Are you okay? That's the oh no look. I've been there. I've been hit in the face so many times, and it's actually made me smarter.
She's okay, so.
Good. It's a tough job. Boy, good ball movement there for Highland Springs, and they don't even get rewarded for it. That was the best that they've moved the ball all game. 46-24, Varina back in transition. Nelson, floater, got it.
Tara dropped it. Great field shot in the paint.
Nelson in transition again. Uh-oh.
Nice.
That's something else Varina does very well is they pass the ball down the court. They don't just pass it close together. They can throw that ball down the court. It didn't connect in the first half, but it seems to be connecting now.
You can't let them be that open, can you? I mean, like, you got to get back.
Jason Nelson with the block.
If you leave Varina open, you're
Ooh.
just in a lot of trouble there.
Well, and this speaks to the opening of our show and just how deep and talented Varina is. They can beat you with height and size. They can beat you with skill and finesse. And one or two guys can be off, and they can still be just fine because other players will pick up the slack. As Richardson gets another 2. Richardson has been absolutely in fuego as we see the floater here. Nelson showing off his skill set. He went off for over 20 points against Henrico about 1 week ago as Highland Springs finally connects for a bucket. He had a 3-point shot. It's 52-27. We've got some really good replays so far tonight from the Varina Center for Communications and Media Relations guys. And that they are covering the game with cameras. They are the talent. They're making me sound better, and that's hard to do.
We're out here.
We're having fun. Varina. Uh-oh, showtime. He got hit in the face. They called nothing. Somebody next to me says blow the whistle.
Turnover on Varina.
One job I would not want would be to be the referee. Well, you guys do a lot at the Center for Communications and Media Relations. Tell me a little bit about what you guys do.
Some things that we do, we really we operate on cameras. We do media relations type things. But we don't only go on the camera. We make newspapers, type. We have a very hard English curriculum to look forward to, and yeah, we like. I don't know how to explain it. It's so much I can't get my words out.
You also got a show that you guys produce called Take 15.
We have Take 15, and we have our morning announcements. Our Take 15 is run by our upperclassmen, and then our morning announcements is run by our sophomores, and sometimes our juniors are in there a lot. It's just something that gets us on camera and gets us used to this kind of stuff that we're doing here.
By the way, that's another point. As a stop and pop and no, Highland Springs gets it. You just made a great point. If you're enjoying this program, these guys sitting next to me are only going to get better. The people on the floor and the people running replay are only getting better because they're only sophomores. Whoa. I'm not just talking about the players on the court. I'm talking about the people right next to me. You guys are only going to get better as sophomores in high school. I wish I had this opportunity when I was a sophomore in high school. I might actually be all right. Oh, man. What's that, block number 7 for the night? Highland Springs gets their hands on it, but Varina's defense has not let up at all here in the third.
Yeah, that time it was the senior Charles Tart getting his hands on it.
Let's take a look at that block again. Here it is.
It's a little celebration by Tyrese Jenkins.
Woo! He got his arm up there, and Charles Tart. You know, he's not the main star for Varina, but he brings a lot of meaningful minutes, this Tart.
Yeah, Charles Hart gets out there and he plays his best the entire time he's on the court, and he never lets up. That's something that the entire Varina team is. Even if you don't start, you get out there and you give it all you got, and that's the same thing for Highland Springs. They get out there and they give what they have until they can't give it anymore.
Last year, as Crump gets the layup and the foul, go to the line for the three-point play, I remember it was Saman Pinchbeck who would start for the Blue Devils, and Hernandez would come off the bench, and he had to accept that role and really embrace it. And that's a tough thing for college kids to do, let alone high school. But he embraced it, and without him, they needed everybody to win the state title last year. So without him embracing that role, they don't win it. I really firmly believe that. Varina with the rebound, chance to increase their lead, and that was pretty. Tyrese Jenkins.
Single roll finish. Very finesse move around the basket.
Tyrese Jenkins scored 1,000 points for his high school career earlier this year. Very same game, head coach Andrew Lacey picks up his 100th win. I guess the two must have gone out to dinner together afterwards and celebrated together, because those are big milestones.
Had to.
Steele, Highland Springs getting in on the block party.
A lot of contact and no foul. Get it now.
Well, they call it that time, and Kennard Richardson will go to the free throw line, looking to get close to 30 for the evening.
To go off what you said earlier about Coach Lacey and his 100th win and Tyrese and his 1,000 points, I know that as a team they all came together and got a giant poster for Coach Lacey and all signed it for his 100th win. They knew it was coming. They could all feel it. You know, they were all looking forward to it, and I know Tyrese got a jersey and a ball with 100 points on it, and it's just something that they could feel coming, and they knew that if they played their best, that's what they get, and that's something they do. They anticipate their wins, and they know that they are Varina basketball, and they can show it off.
And we did a live game last week, a couple of games with Herm TV. They did a tremendous job as well. Cesaria Jones, a member of the Hermitage Lady Panthers, scored 1,000 points. It was a different story. She's basically the scoring for Hermitage. They don't have anyone else. So if you're a player at Varina and you score 1,000 points, you've really earned it, because a lot of players can score like that guy right there, Jordan Hernandez.
Yeah, getting to 1,000 points out of Varina is something very big. Everybody is a big part of the team. Everybody scores, not one single person in a season won't score. You have everybody who pitches in and helps to win games. It's not just one person.
My goodness, it's showtime here at Varina Style Court.
Great Euro step.
Woo!
Block
Foul.
party continues.
Yeah, the foul is on the body, though, so the block won't count. Once again, game coverage brought to you by not just HCPS TV, but by the Center for Communication and Media Relations here at Varina High School. All the camera shots you're seeing, the replays, the play-by-play, except for yours truly, by Varina students. Here's a look back at the layup in between two, gets it to go. Ref tries to get in the way. And Hernandez adds to his night, and Coach Tennyson says he's seen enough. Time out on the floor, 65-29. Guys, I gotta ask you, because you guys have seen Varina almost night in and night out, but how much did that loss to LC Bird that ended the opportunity for Varina to have a perfect regular season, how much do you think that impacts them moving forward? Because they're definitely playing at a really high level tonight.
I feel like that makes them more determined. They're not looking for another loss. If they get another loss, they're going to feel very upset.
Speaking of Nelsons, we have Jason Nelson, point guard. There's Tyrone Nelson, enjoying the game. He's often seen here. You can catch him at a Henrico game, a Highland Springs game. You see him at Varina as well. This is a great job. This is a 65-29 game. And what I honestly expect to be much closer.
Yes, their first appearance this year was way closer than this, especially in the third quarter. It's tied all the way into the fourth.
This Highland Springs has some time to erupt. We'll see. They got 3 men on Crump, and they know that they got to go to Crump.
Varina's not allowing that to happen. Got to be somebody else.
You got to at least have somebody else as an option, right?
Yeah.
Inside, Crump back, works, no. Crump the rebound, and Crump's double teamed, and Crump's going to get rid of it. And that time, well done. Patiently worked inside. Devin Cole scores.
Very fine out of the trap.
It was a very good fake with that layup. He didn't let the defender block him. He did his best to fake it and make him act too soon, and that is what works out for them now.
Still the defending state champs with a 34-point lead. And you heard Coach Lacey at halftime, the interview with our courtside reporter. He said his goal was to keep doing what they're doing and rest some guys to get them ready for the playoffs. So he's looking towards the future here. Finally, here's something we can show you if you're a Springer fan from #SpringerNation. Attacking the defense, that really was getting that extra pass and then finding Coles. I believe that's the first bucket of the night for Coles. (65-31) Varina. As the Blue Devils brought out LeVar Mallory now, number 30. That 3 off the iron, no good. Rebound, Jordan Crump. I believe, it's unofficial, I believe Crump has a double-double. Pretty close.
Putting in work on the glass. He's been doing it all for the Springs.
There's the inbounds. I think they're going to call it a kick ball. Went off Varina's foot, so they'll do it again. Well, guys, with 19, well, they're going to make it 21 seconds on the clock before the end of the third. What have you guys seen from trying to cover a game live? What's your experience been like?
It's been great so far. I mean, try to be like people you see on TV, try to be like Kevin Hart and Chris Webber, but you got to be yourself, got to be unique.
You do. And you find it eventually. The three at the buzzer from the corner is no good. That's about the only thing that hasn't gone Jordan Hernandez's way. As at the end of three, it's a complete blowout for number one defending champ Varina, 65-31. Well, Malachi, what do you think? Is this something you want to do again?
Is this something I want to do?
Yeah. I mean, would you like to call another basketball or football? Play by play, you know?
Play by play.
Abigail, this is a different experience for you because you get to see the game from a different vantage point since you play with JV. What do you think about doing something like this again? Do you see yourself in a booth doing a game live?
I think I could see myself doing this. This is something my dad always talks about. He's like, you talk about sports so much. This is something the communication center will help you with. And he's not lying. I never would have been able to do this. But last year as an 8th grader, I never would have been able to sit up here and talk about sports. But I feel like this is something I know I enjoy doing this. So
I've enjoyed hanging out with you guys as we start the fourth quarter. I tell you what I think is amazing is that we have a lot of different centers across Henrico County that offer different things. And the communications center obviously offers a chance to do something like this. You know what? It also gives us a chance to go courtside to our reporter, Mr. Davis. He's got more down near the Varina bench. Take it away.
At the end of the third quarter, the Blue Devils lead with a 65-31 advantage. The Springers had multiple open looks as they increased their intensity, but it just wasn't enough to overcome the Blue Devils' outstanding defense. They had a total of 7 blocks that quarter.
Yep, thank you very much. Davis Taylor. Courtside, 7 blocks a quarter. That's when your whole team's doing it right. Crump with another rebound for Highland Springs. He's filling the stat sheet tonight too. So the question is this a hot Varina team that ran into a Highland Springs team that just was not ready to match the intensity of Varina, or is this a Highland Springs team that needs to work on some stuff as they get into the playoffs?
I feel like the only thing that you see with Highland Springs that they're struggling with is just stopping the ball. They're trying to get to the basket. They're doing their best, but they can't finish with their shots, and they're really struggling with stopping Varina from getting anywhere. They just can't stop them.
Plus, getting the rebound would help too, as Jenkins collects another 2. Here comes Crump. He's blocked from behind by Jenkins. Uh-oh. He missed it again. That's the second missed dunk of the night.
Did you see that dunk by Tyrese Jenkins?
I got to tell you something, though. Okay, so this happened last week when Varina played Henrico. They not only missed the dunk, but we're going to show it to you. They get a technical foul, and you're going to see why. Actually, that's the putback by Jenkins, and that shows that's just one of the many reasons why Varina has the lead over Highland Springs. But one of the reasons why Highland Springs is shooting free throws for a technical is because instead of converting on the dunk, not only did he miss it, but he also hung onto the rim, which is a no-no in a T. So an automatic turnover and possession, the other team gets two shots. It's athletic and cool looking, but much cooler if you convert the dunk. So they got to work on their windmill 360 dunks or something when they have practice.
Got to work on the Jordan cradle.
Yeah. Varina just needs a dunk contest, Coach Lacey. They'll get it together.
Could choose that smooth all-star game.
There you go. What a nice shot.
Either way.
That was, you see, You see that style of jumper in the NBA time and time again. That's how smooth that looks. Yeah. 69-33, and it's frustration time. Foul on the play.
They're subbing all their starters out and I guess giving them some rest because the score is there's such a big deficit. They got to give their starters some kind of rest. They have a big week next week.
Yeah, Coach Lacey doing what he told reporters. Number 42, Lorenz Terrian. Number 24, Jalen Travis is in. You have number 20 in there, Leonard Scott. Number
Jalen Travis.
Number 21, Alfonso Billa. The ball goes off Varina. They save it. And now Highland Springs, Tremaine Talbot. Oh, he misses the dunk. Another chance. This time the layup will work. I know it's not flashy and highlight driven. See, they know they're on TV. That's why they're missing dunks. They want to make that one big play, right?
Trying to get on ESPN.
Trying to make, or at least sportsman. That ball is stolen. The Blue Devils. This is a great chance, though, right? I mean, you've been in this situation before where you come off the bench and you don't get to play hardly at all, and then you get some minutes, or you've seen teammates do.
Yeah, it's something you just got to work your best because, I mean, you come off the bench, you got to be prepared. You have to know what you're doing. If you don't watch the game and you're just sitting over there goofing off or, you know, something, you have to be rested. You have to be ready. If you come out there and you're not playing to your best potential, then the coach is going to pull you right out. There's no reason that you not starting, have played before, you should be tired.
Well, and what players need to realize that, number one, your first point, your opportunities are going to be few and far between. Number two, coaches are looking for that 7th, 8th, maybe even 9th guy that can come in and give them some minutes and get some audition to see if you can be that guy. Ooh, he's a shooter. Who's a shooter? So far, everybody for Varina has been a shooter.
Shooter's gonna shoot.
Shooter is going to shoot. Highland Springs done not enough ball movement, and they have not been connecting on long-range shots. There's a shot.
As he takes one.
Deep. Right.
Off the front of the rim, it's a scramble to get the ball down the court.
And it doesn't matter if they have their whole second team in, they're still getting offensive rebounds.
They're still going to get offensive rebounds. It's something they practice every day at practice. It's something that they always go through, something that they've always been good at. Is getting those rebounds and, you know, trying to take good shots.
They just have great hustle. Hustling to the ball, knowing that you're going to do this.
Going for the monster block. Instead, we got a monster foul. Devils going to the line.
Highland Springs, number 14, Cameron Friend, that's his first team score.
Cameron Friend on the foul. He's seen some time. Leonard Scott has a chance to get in the scorebook, and he does. (70-35). They officially have double the points of the Springers. I was saying earlier, what's great is the opportunities you have, the studio. And here's the foul again. See, he came down hard. I mean, it looks worse than it is, because if he's not going for the ball, that would definitely have been a technical, the force of that foul, but obviously he's going for the block, so that's why it was just a two-shot foul. Leonard Scott brings it up, but with your center, I've seen your studio, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And with what you guys are able to do, and even to put some things together, the three ball is hit from the top of the key. I mean, you have a chance to have that cool window into another to mention. They're going to call another timeout here. You guys have a chance to put together a nice little reel before you even start college. You know, so your opportunities almost seem as endless as the defending champs here tonight.
I have a lot of opportunities to get involved, get our feet wet, and opportunities like this to be on TV, be on television. It's a great opportunity.
I think it's a great opportunity too for you guys, but I'll be selfish. I think it's a great opportunity for me because I get to work with some new people, you know. Here's the three from the top of the key. Alfonso Billups. There you go, Alfonso. You're into the stat sheet now too.
Freshman, getting his time, about his time, get on the court, splash it.
That's making the most, Abigail, of your minutes when you hit a three from the top of the court.
That is just getting out there, scoring like you're supposed to do. There's nothing better than that.
2:59 to go in the game. Varina about to get win number 20 on the season. Fouls called down low. They will move to 20-1. First round of the playoffs to start, I believe, next Friday night. How is the Varina JV, Abigail, looking this year?
Girls or guys?
The girls. I'm talking about your team.
Well, the girls are done, but we finished with a way better record than last year, and we're really building up our program. It's a lot of, competition. We did not play Highland Springs as JV because they did not have a JV team, but we did play a lot of different schools that are good competition, like Henrico, and we won the majority of our games this year, which is something that we tried to do last year and we struggled with, and they're just a lot better this year than they have been in the past.
How interesting is it going to be for you, though, because you may be in transition going from JV to potentially varsity as early as next year, heading into your junior season?
It's pretty interesting. I'm really excited for it. I love the coaches. All the coaches work very well together, and they really inspire you to do your best in everything you do. So it's a really good thing and really exciting.
Splish splash for Cameron Friend. And the three ball has not been a friend for Highland Springs so far in this one. They finally get one to go. Fouls on the floor.
I like the determination by Jalen Travis.
It was well done. As we wind down, under 2 to play. Well, let me ask you guys, because we're being objective here tonight, but I know you're Varina students first and foremost. So, who is your favorite player to watch on the guys' team here?
Favorite player, probably gotta be Jordan Hernandez. He has vertical out of the roof, block shots, inside, outside, make threes. Just an amazing all-around player.
He's got athleticism, no doubt.
Definitely.
Minute 15 to go. Malachi, do you agree? Did you go Jordan or did you go somewhere else?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Would you go Jordan Hernandez or would you go someone else for favorite player?
I still can't hear you. I'm sorry.
All right, we got a little connection issue here. I don't know what's going on. The ball is stolen. They're on the rebound, and that's a flush.
That's a slam right there.
Cameron Friend. 73-41. So we got to wait until the last minute and a half before we can wrap this up, put a bow on it. So the bench of the Springers getting their shot as well. That shot is off the mark. And Varina can dribble this out, but no, they take the three. Highland Springs will have a last shot at it, and a foul with 12.9 to go.
That's something Varina does not need. I mean, they are up, but they don't. Coach Lacey does not like to foul at all. And for people to go in and foul, he gets very upset. That's just something he doesn't like to see is his team fouling, even if it's at the end.
And the seats are emptying behind us, to the sides, as the crowd knows it's almost time to go. That's up and in. A quick 2 and 1. Highland Springs not going into this great night quietly. David Jackson for 2. Misses the free throw. The ball is tipped out of bounds, and they're just going to let the clock go. That is going to do it. Varina 73, Highland Springs 43. And James, from start to finish, Varina had this one going.
Yeah, they had it control from the finishing to the end. So just an all-around good performance for Varina to end their season.
And it's really the end of one season, the start of another. Is next week regional playoffs begin. Varina will have that touted top seed and have a chance to kind of control their own destiny with some home games. And before we say goodbye, we're going to have one more shot down courtside with our reporter, Mr. Kenny Lawson, as soon as he grabs a head coach for Varina, Mr. Andrew Lacey. See if he can grab Andrew Lacey as he's hugging the players. These players know each other really well. They battle against each other season in and season out. Whether it's in the winter or summer, they're playing ball against each other, so they know each other really well.
A lot of great chemistry.
Absolutely.
These players.
Tremendous.
We talk about
chemistry.
all the contact that's on the court, but you also see both teams picking the other team up. They never let each other sit on the ground. They always offer a helping hand. If one's on the floor, someone's helping them up. Even if it's a Varina player helping a Highland Springs player, they know each other so well and they bond and they have such good sportsmanship.
Well, guys, it's been a tremendous ball game for Varina, no doubt. 73-43 finish, and we'll go down courtside now because Kenneth is finally with a victorious.
From the that had real strong execution. What are your thoughts on tonight's game?
I think our kids played well to end the season. One of their goals was to win 20 games. So to come in tonight and put the effort that they did tonight to go 20-1 in the season, and then secure this tonight. They hadn't lost in the Capital District in 3 years, so it's like 37 straight for them. So I think that they deserve all the credit.
That's right. Great blowout game tonight.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you very much. Kenny Lawson courtside. And guys, let's put a wrap on this. 73-43 is your final from Glenn Rudisile Court here at Varina High School. For Abigail, for Malachi, for James, and for me, and for where are we going? Oh, there, and for everybody on camera. Turn around and wave. And for the production crew, and for the sideline cams. Here at Varina, you guys did one heck of a job. Literally, seriously, there she is. You know what? We met with the students about, what? Early in the JV game, told them what to do, gave them the what is what and the opportunity. So we thank everybody, not just us here at the talent at the table, but the camera, the crew, and the game coverage, again, brought to you by the crew at the Center for Communication and Media Relations. Final score once again from Glenn Rudisile Court. It's Varina 73, Highland Springs 43. Have a great night, everyone.